Welcome to the Perfectly Sane Show, episode 679. I think that's the episode. I hope. I just looked. I am Chris, as always, joined by Tony.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I think it's episode 34.
Okay. No.
And I think I can say that with a high level of conviction.
100% confidence. Jeff is here as well.
Yeah, and I can hear my own voice more than usual, which means this is the last you'll hear of me talking.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't like hearing. I don't like that.
It's drowning out the voices in my head, and I don't like it.
It's too many things going on.
I wonder if you have maybe like a setting on your mic.
Well, yeah, I'd heard before. I got the Blue Yeti that you would hear your own voice, but I never noticed it to the degree I am right now. So I'm like, what volume setting? Maybe on my computer volume setting. Oh, there it is. Let's see if this helps. Yep, there we go.
Gone.
I still hear me just good.
Yep, we can.
God, Jeff is gone. I can't hear him at all.
Oh no, where'd he go? Yeah. They convicted that orange dirtbag. I like seriously. Jeff, I know you just said that before we started that you thought it was going to happen, but I don't know. I'm so used to like rich and powerful people just getting away with everything
every time, like from like our youth, right? OJ.
Yeah.
Like obviously this person did this thing, and how could they not be convicted? And like all the way on through, it feels like guy after rich guy just never gets convicted, and the fact that it actually happened speaks a lot to like the case that they put forward. It must have been like overwhelmingly convincing.
It kind of cracks me up though, like how beaten down you guys are. That you're just like, no, there's no way. Like it's not. I'm not gonna believe it till I see it.
Like, right. Well, I mean, how many times have like they tried to get him on shit and he just skirts away?
Or like the smoking. Everybody has the smoking gun, and it never works. And it's only taken 77 years.
This yeah, I mean, but this whole like Teflon narrative, I just feel like the dominoes have been falling for a couple years now. Like it takes time for these things to happen.
Yeah. It's just like what was it? It's like I don't even know. It was middle of his presidency, right? When the Mueller report came out, and it's like. This is the one that's gonna, and then like his attorney general backed it off, and like he always just motherfucker just slips away.
Yeah, and you know, if you were in his shoes, you would pull every lever you can too. And I first off, one thing in my mind was people hate people in power and politicians, and like this was a chance for them to be like, nah, fuck you, you know. But also, I had heard that the people that know their shit were kind of surprised how good the prosecution's case was on this.
Right. The thing that I always read was that of the cases against him that were actually, he was indicted for. This was the weakest one.
I mean, yeah, that's another thing too. Is that like, I mean, this is the least serious of all the cases, and he was guilty on all charges, and I'm just like, but like as soon as like I saw, we have a verdict coming in, I said to you guys, brace for impact, and then I said to my wife, there's a verdict, which means there's no hung jury, which means this is what I told my wife. I'm like, which means he's getting guilty on some of these charges. There's no way that the prosecution, like the state, was gonna go and like just. Lose all.
I thought the same thing. Once I saw there was actually a verdict,
it was like
I thought from the very beginning, I'm like, this is gonna be a hung jury. He's got supporters on the jury, which he had.
Yeah,
but it convinced those people too.
and like, yeah, that was what I thought was most likely before today. Probably was like a hung jury. But yeah, once they said they had a verdict, I'm like, oh, it's over. And
after it went after they went past 1 day deliberating, right? Because they started yesterday. Like, it didn't look good for him. But
he
even
knew
then,
it. He said Mother Teresa would still, go down for this. I'm like, he knows. That was gonna give you hope yesterday. It's like the fact that they expected to lose was a good sign.
Yeah. So good news.
Yeah,
we got him,
dude. Absolutely. And it just goes to show, for all his bluster and all his bullshit, when you strip all that away and you have to sit in a courtroom with actual evidence and people are forced to consider facts, he is exactly who we fucking thought he was all along. And it's, again, I know people are like so down on this election and everything, but I just have hope. I'm like, I see it going like, unfortunately, maybe these other trials don't happen before the election, but if he fucking does not win this election, that motherfucker's going to prison. Because this shit here might just be a house arrest, probation, whatever.
right?
The other, trying to overturn election, life. And so we just got to hold the fucking line and not let this guy back into power. I know. That's a huge order, and we don't have a lot of. That's open and shut. If they would have it.
Yeah, like that one is pretty, like, we've sent people to prison for a long time for much lesser offenses with top secret documents.
I think
he was like hiding them in the
bathroom. And I think, yeah, that one I believe, like, that case is mandatory 5 years if he's guilty, and that's due to him.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I have a lot of hope about this. Like, and again, and I, right away my was like, does this mean he's going to prison? I'm like, very slim chance. I don't think it helps him in a general election. Like,
no, this is like the first I've actually felt optimistic about it, because
the numbers gotta shift after this, right?
Like his supporters they won't care. They never cared about any of the stupid shit he's done.
Yeah, they're voting for him no matter what.
But like
the main
like,
supporters.
He is doing stuff he's not supposed to do. Like, this is proof of that.
Yeah, like the people who decide elections are just like normal people that don't pay attention to this stuff, and then they hear this, they're like, I don't want that. You know what I mean?
I don't want convicted felon. And like,
yeah.
And that's literally every ad they're going to run in the fall is going to be like Donald Trump convicted felon. That's all you're going to see.
I mean, the Biden campaign, like, smartly before this, like, Biden did not talk about it really, because like, he
didn't want to appear like he was influencing.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But once it's done, you get to call him a convicted felon for the entire election season. And like right away today, he put out a statement right away being like, yeah, Donald Trump thought he was above the law and he's not. And I'm just like, oh man, like, they're going at him hard right away. It gives me a little bit of hope. Now
Biden can cancel the debate.
I go to the debate and be like, you really want this guy, this fucking clown? This guy is a fucking, he's a rapist, and he's a convicted felon for fucking trying to cheat in the last election. Like, just go at him as hard as you fucking can on this shit. Like, Why not? Why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, why give a convicted felon a platform?
I take the opportunity to get on stage with him and call him a rapist.
Well, and
a rapist, because it's not libel. It's been adjudicated.
I don't know that Biden can pull off the kind of attitude he'd need to have to make that look good. Like, he might.
Yeah, I think a younger Biden for sure. The
younger Biden, yes, but the Biden we have now, I don't think he can go.
He's got to do it. That's just what he has to do.
I think if he cancels the debate, then it kind of looks like he's that he's afraid of him.
Yeah,
he's got to debate him. He's got to call him a felon and a rapist. Like, straight up, dude. Trump would do no less. Do you remember when Trump went to go debate Hillary and he fucking brought up, like, he brought into the audience
Bill's mistresses.
Like, yeah. And so there's no rules of decorum here.
He's not gonna hold back.
And Biden should hit him where he's weak, dude. Hit him while he's down. Fucking beat you gotta do it. You gotta bring the fight to this guy.
Is that Biden though? It's the
job that he has to do Like whether he's the guy,
people to vote for him.
See that this is the thing. Is like Biden tends to let us down in these kind of moments.
Biden is he's a nice guy, and he wants to work with people across the aisle. But
you're nice old grandpa now.
You gotta, if your opponent has a weakness, if like they're limping, you gotta fucking take out their legs. Like it's just he's got to do it. Like it.
And I don't think he can.
It is. I think he whether he can or not, that's what he has to do. So I'm hoping for the best.
I mean, I think the best debate, if they have one, will be the vice presidential debate. But,
yeah, I mean, Kamala will be able to handle whatever fucking kook he.
Oh yeah, what clown is he gonna put in that seat? Like, that'll at least be more coherent, I think.
They need to have her out there more calling him, like saying, "Hey, he's a convicted felon. Like, go at him, man. Fucking ruin him. This is your opportunity." Like, the fact that in a normal world that we're like spending the first 10 minutes on this, but like in a normal world, this would be the end of his campaign. That's it. Like,
it should be. Yeah.
You got convicted for paying off a porn star. You can't be the GOP, like the top of the GOP ticket. What? Like the GOP should be like freaking out and figuring out who to replace them with right now, you know? And instead they're just doubling down.
It's just insane. It's insane.
What's that, Tony?
All the religious voters.
Yeah,
vote for
it's
this guy.
So fucking hypocritical. Like, what are you doing? Like, how can you vote for this guy that is like he is against everything that your religion speaks for, except ultimately that's not what they're there for, right?
I think everyone believes he banged this porn star. I think even
absolutely.
Like and it's just like in a normal world, that's it. That's end game over. Like John Edwards, goodbye. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're done in politics, and instead there's like there's no pot committed on this guy. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, we've been with him for a decade. What are we gonna do? Like, you know,
I don't know.
It's super interesting.
To get rid of him.
The politicians did.
Yeah. They should have gotten rid of him when, you know.
Dude, no one would have blinked an eye. Like, yeah, his fucking cult would be upset, but they would have moved on. They would be worshiping whoever now. DeSantis. You know what I mean? Like
that guy was such a fucking. He killed himself.
I mean, DeSantis is fucking garbage,
so
but you know,
they could have found somebody else to
it's not
fill in that hole.
It's not like Trump is this amazing, like charismatic. He's a fucking old nutcase, and like for whatever reason, he's the avatar for whatever they're feeling. Probably because it goes back to Obama.
I think if you go back to the Apprentice days, when he was charismatic on a certain level, like
it's a TV
he spoke
show
the way they thought like businessmen should speak.
Great businessman,
and a lot of people look back at that and they're like, he was a great man. That's who he is. And of course, that was him, you know, playing a character with like studio editing and all this stuff to make him look like that.
Yeah,
that's not how he actually was at that time, anyway.
But something like this happening today helps my sanity because I'm just like I look at the guy and I'm like it's just so obvious what he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so obvious, and the fact that half this country is like tricked by it is like it sucks. But like I said, when you put people in a room and they have to look at evidence and for a serious fucking trial, it came out 100% he's what we thought. Yeah. So it gives me hope, a little bit of hope. I mean, things could go. I mean, obviously, right now Biden is losing the election, but it gives me hope that there's a lot of runway left, you know, and things could change. So,
and I hope as always, Jeff is the most optimistic of all of us.
I guess
it's good. I'm glad somebody's optimistic.
The bourbon's helping, but hey.
All right. Well, let's move off of old convict Donnie.
I want to bask in it. I am basking.
We can you know
bathing,
enjoy the news of the day, but let's talk about some games here. Did you guys watch the State of Play from Sony?
I didn't. Well, okay. So I got the feed after it was over,
Yeah,
and I looked through it at the things that appealed to me.
yeah.
I scrolled through Wario's posts.
There you go. So you saw what was revealed.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, it's. I mean, actually, there was a lot shown, but yes, it's like if you're looking for a certain type of game or you're looking for that big game, I'm not sure it's there.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything
Nothing
new
I saw was
that was announced that was earth shattering.
Which is crazy because was this their like E3 thing? Like, because if it is, that's like super underwhelming.
I don't know.
It's pretty bad. Like, last what they showed was not coming out the next year, so it kind of feels like that. And it was just like, I don't know. I guess I will play some of this.
The biggest game on there was not even a Sony game and not even a PS5 exclusive game.
What, Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest
and
one.
Also, not even coming this year.
Yeah, it's 2025. I'll quickly run it down. So, Firewalk Studios, they revealed their first game, I guess. It's a game called Concord. It looks like Overwatch type shooter. I don't know. They said the name Concord multiple times in that, and I just could not remember it at all. They put a lot of time into that, and did not seem like people were digging it at all. God of War Ragnarok's coming to PC. That's kind of fun.
You have to have your PSN account though.
Yes, so it won't be on like 100. They won't sell it in like 100 different territories because no PSN account there yet. I do. That was something I saw a lot of. This was that Sony is they're kind of doing like day and date with PC in some cases. Like Concord is getting a PS5 and PC release. Silent Hill is getting a PS5 and Steam release. So like the God of War Ragnarok is coming to PC. Until Dawn remastered, PS5 and PC release all at the same time. So like they're jumping into that, into the PC marketplace head first. So
yeah, but it's just like, oh, great, Until Dawn, the game I played 5 years ago.
Yeah, did you see the trailer, Jeff?
No, but it's just like, again, it's like, all right.
Yeah, one, it's a 10-year-old game.
This is like something you put in between this we have, and instead the whole conference was like the in between stuff.
Yeah. I also thought I thought the original Until Dawn, and I liked it a lot. But one of like the things that got people to kind of look at it was that it cast like movie stars.
Yeah,
Hayden Panettiere, and I don't know if they did something like they don't quite look the same.
Like we lost the likenesses.
Yeah, but they did the voices too. So like they sound the same. It's just like visually they don't quite look as good.
Yeah.
Like they don't look bad. They just look different. So I thought that was weird. But yeah, you're right. And I'm more. Supermassive has another game coming out this year. And I'm more interested in that than playing Until Dawn again.
Is it gonna be another like Telltale or whatever style?
They make those type of games, right? Yeah. It's gonna be like what's the one they did? The Quarry. Yeah. They did that last year. It'll be like that. Like that's the type of game they make. But they're doing one that's set in the Dead by Daylight universe. So,
oh, really?
Like I thought that was an interesting choice for them. Neat way to kind of go about it. The game I liked the most out of it was Astrobot. Did you guys play that on the PS5? The Astro's Playroom?
I did, but that's like the game that came with it, right? Like it was kind of like the
it
package
was
game for the
yes.
console. I did not play it, but I remember you liked it, and it was
It's
I think it generally liked.
yeah, it's a really cool 3D platformer that kind of like explores, like you go through the history of PlayStation with it. I don't really know if they're leaning into the history part here, but like there were like flying PS5s and
Yeah,
like the little airplane that Astro flies is a PS5 controller with like jets on it. There was like a Parappa the Rapper, and there was the axe from God of War. Like there's a bunch of like PlayStation stuff in it, so it looks like a little like Mario platformer.
celebrating all the games that they don't make anymore.
Yeah. So and I mean it was the first one. It's not the first one. I guess the Astro VR or whatever it was the first one, but the Playroom was a great game. So
Was it like a full game?
yeah, there's
I always just thought it was kind of a demo of like, oh, here's what the controller can do.
It is a tech showcase for the controller, but it's a like full on 3D platformer. Like you go to multiple different worlds. I think there's like 6 different worlds you go to. Each one has like 5 or 6 levels to it, so it's a legitimate 3D platform.
And I could play this for free if I wanted to. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it should have been part of the PS5.
If I ever turn on my PS5 again, which I have
yeah,
not.
It should be there. So if you're looking for something to play on it, Jeff, give that one a go.
I mean, yeah, maybe
Marvel Rivals.
Oh my
I
God.
couldn't really figure out what that was. Like, is that a multiplayer game? Or...
It looked like a multiplayer hero shooter.
Okay, where you play as like Storm and Venom.
Yeah, like all like the not quite A tier Marvel heroes. That's kind of what I got. Like I did see Spider-Man on there. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
it didn't look. The gameplay did not look that exciting. It did not look very superhero-y either. It looked very
like you if you're playing as Spider-Man, like you want that web swinging, and
yeah.
Venom was like crawling underneath. He was like tunneling underneath stuff. Like that was weird.
It looked like third-person Overwatch. It didn't look like a superhero game.
And as Tony said, Monster Hunter Wilds, they showed a bunch of that, but that's not coming till next year. It does look good though.
It does. That game I am excited for.
Yeah, I will play that with you guys. Silent Hill 2 Remake was shown again. They gave a release date October 8th. I guess in conjunction with that, right after the Sony ones, there was the Silent Hill Transmission, which was a 35-minute Silent Hill showcase where they really just showed 25 minutes of Silent Hill 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then had an interview with some people that made it, and then showed the new movie that's coming out. But I don't know. Something seems off about this remake.
I only saw screenshots again posted by Wario.
Yeah.
And it looks garbage to me. Like it looks like PS2 Silent Hill. it's what you remember. Even a remake.
It's like what you remember Silent Hill. Like it does. I bet if you put them side by side,
yeah, probably inarguably better.
But it's what you remember it looking like.
You want a bigger overhaul of the visuals. I would think. Like to me, again, just looking at screenshots, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this. Like it looks, and I love survival horror, but it just looks like not enough to like. Again, like I feel agree. I feel like Capcom justifies them like digging up the past with Resident Evil because like they're so excellent. This just looks like garbage. I don't know. And that's like such a great game. Like it should have like a AAA remake that looks great. I don't know.
Yeah, those Resident Evil games, to your point, are phenomenal looking. Like, 2 is a few years old now at this point.
Still,
still is a top notch looking game.
it can, and you compare it to what it's remaking, it's undoubtedly better.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this, I mean, again, you're probably right that like side by side, yeah, this was gonna look better, but like just looking at it by itself, it just looks like not visually appealing. I don't know.
Yeah. I am like, I say this now, and I probably would go see it anyway, but I'm more interested in that new Silent Hill movie, which is also evidently a kind of like an adaptation of 2. I think it'll
That's a
be a
great
better
idea.
adaptation
Yeah.
than this game.
What did you think of the first movie? Did you like it?
It was fine. The one with Sean Bean.
I don't even remember who was in it. I remember thinking, this is pretty good for
Yeah.
being based off a video game. Like it had atmosphere,
Yes, and yeah, that was 2006. It's like
Yeah.
it was fine. The guy who did that movie, he is doing the second one. So Christoph
Okay.
Gans. So I mean, I guess whatever. He hasn't done a lot since Silent Hill,
They
but
could roll them out every 20 years to do a Silent Hill.
but yeah, they're bringing him back to do Return to Silent Hill, which is a remake and not an adaptation of 2.
Hey, that's 2 is a great story. So,
what else we got here? I kind of like that Dynasty Warriors reveal. I don't know. It just felt like old, like
Yeah.
oh, that was like it's like a fun, just like hack and slash thing, like the old Dynasty Warriors was.
At some point, I just need to like make myself play one of these games. I always look at them
they're
like
all right.
that looks kind of cool.
Play
Yeah,
that Zelda one. What was that? Hyrule
Hyrule
Warriors.
Warriors. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's
It's
fun.
pretty neat. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing like it's not like you're not gonna walk away from it like, oh my god. But like if you bought it for like $10, you'd be like, yeah, that's fun.
exactly. It's like I will play this one, but it's like $10. The game actually looks fantastic. Like
Right.
it looks better than Silent Hill 2 does. At first I was like, oh, like were they doing like some sort of like tactical warfare type thing? And it's like,
Right.
oh
It
no,
looks like Total War-ish when they were
yeah.
first showing it, and then
The
then they
guy
went
just
to
jumps into them all.
yeah. Like it would be cool to have a game where you could do both of those things.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
yeah, where you can kind of move troops and then divisions and stuff, but then jump
Then go
in as
back,
this like
yeah.
superhero.
Kind of what I'm hoping for from that game where you have like the tanks and the stuff in the medieval war.
Oh yeah.
Give me that. Let me command my troops in battle, then hop in a tank and run everything over. I want to do that.
They not that they announced it there, but Path of Exile 2 was shown, and they revealed that I guess it'll have couch co-op. It's very much like a Diablo-ish type game. It looked decent enough. Then there was a bunch of like other bullshit that I don't think any of it, like I don't know. There was another like Japanese kind of set in that era, like historical Japan.
They don't have like already 3 games like that already.
Yeah, like another Souls like in that era, like that was one that got announced, and it's like yeah, like it looks good, but do we need another one of those?
What do you got for I don't know soon?
Yeah. So
Nothing.
in terms of Sony, yeah, like I mean, if you're not interested in Concord, which is the multiplayer game, which is in August, or Astro, which is in September, they don't really have a ton.
So yeah, they have Astro, which I would not call September really soon.
No, yeah, there's nothing like immediate.
If Astro is your fall, like again, I know you like it,
whole
Chris,
lot.
and I'm interested in it, but like, jeez.
Yeah, like it's Astro, Silent Hill 2, and then the Until Dawn remaster. Like that's Sony's currently, that is their lineup. So
talk about resting on your laurels. Like, I don't know, man. They dominated so well this generation, and to produce what?
not much. Like, honestly, not like, I mean, what we got Horizon Forbidden West, we got God of War Ragnarok.
And were any of these PS5 exclusive even? Like, or could you play both those games on PS4?
I think you could.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
again, what did you get out of this generation? Nothing, dude. You
Ratchet,
I guess, but yeah,
Ratchet's a great game, but
that's not like, no one was like, I'm so happy I bought the PS5 so I could play the new Ratchet. And
no.
yeah, it's just kind of wild to me, like how easily they have dominated this generation. Meanwhile, like I would not, Xbox has not put anything out either, but like all our games are free. Just come to our system, and yeah, I don't know. Like it's just, I don't think either of them are doing. I'd say both of them are like really bad this generation. Like I think they both suck. And
it's not been great.
And meanwhile, Nintendo, like, they're not doing the most exciting year either, but it's like super obvious that they're in transition mode. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a different thing.
Yeah, like we know that their new system is going to be next year.
Yeah,
and like they're at the end of their life cycle.
Yeah, like you're not gonna put Mario Kart fucking 9 on this if you got the new system coming out. So I get that.
But in theory, we should be in the middle of the PS5 and Series generation.
It feels like they never started. Failure to launch.
Been rough.
I feel like this generation for both Sony and Microsoft has just never started. Like, yeah, I get good games I love playing, but it's like I wouldn't attribute like Vampire Survivors to being an Xbox game or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, man, dude, they're so lacking on their own fronts on these systems. Like,
yeah, there's nothing and nothing new, right? Everything's been a franchise, or there's not been that one really big like new thing that's come out.
And usually like not some sort of huge evolution of that franchise or something that is like beloved. It's just like, yeah, here's another Gears of War or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy how bad the console makers' games have been this generation.
And for that, we haven't even. I think Gears of War 5 was an Xbox One game. Like, so like we haven't even got one of them this generation.
I stand corrected.
Forza 5, maybe? Is that's it?
I mean, I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, like it's really weird.
So that's it for the state of play. I did write down some other stuff. I leaked that Call of Duty 6 is going to be launching on Game Pass, so I guess we can put that to bed.
That was a big accident, a big whoopsie.
Yeah.
I wonder when that stuff happens, whether it's intentional or not, like whether they leaked it accidentally in quotation marks.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Because like we kind of knew that the redacted showcase after the Xbox One was gonna be Call of Duty focused. You would have thought that they would have held that for that showcase to be like, like that's and here's one more thing, it's gonna be on Game Pass, guys.
Right.
Like,
right. Well, but they also want like attention to Game Pass. They want attention on the showcase, and maybe this is a way of driving that. You never know. But we also knew that the discussions were taking place internally about what they were going to do. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that they just accidentally posted that. It just
yeah. How does a multi trillion-dollar company. Like, fuck that up. But they've
It's kind of
consistently
like
done lots of things.
that one. I always took with a grain of salt Ubisoft's accidentally leaking Assassin's Creed. Like, it was always stupid things like, oh, somebody look over somebody's shoulder on a plane and saw it. And
You
really?
knew who was sitting there, and you opened it
Yeah.
up for them to see it.
Yeah, I can't. I don't believe all of these leaks are actually leaks as much as they are stealth PR.
Well, another leak here is that at the Xbox showcase they will be revealing the next Doom game, Doom: The Dark Ages, which is going to be a medieval themed or medieval inspired Doom. And I guess that the big news out of this, because I don't think anybody was like, oh, they're never going to make another Doom game. Those previous two kind of reboot Dooms did particularly well. It's more that the rumor for this is that it's going to be launching on PS5 day and date with the Series X and PC launch too. So looks like Xbox is diving headfirst into that multi-platform strategy they have.
Good for them. Go Xbox.
Yeah.
Make that money.
If we're getting good games out of it,
Right.
I don't really give a shit.
Right. And we'll get less good games if they make these stupid games exclusive and nobody plays them.
Right. So, if all the people on PlayStation want to buy it, go ahead. I will play it over on the Xbox and enjoy it with my Game Pass subscription.
Right. Exclusivity is always one of those, like, it's supposed to sell consoles, but at this point it's pretty clear that, at least for Xbox, it's not.
Yeah.
So, do something else. It's fine.
Just let me play my Doom wherever I want, and hopefully with the Game Pass sub, and I'll be fine. Jeff, you mentioned how good the Resident Evil remakes look. Well, are you ready for 2 more of them?
Yes, I am.
It sounds like they are remaking Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica. Code Veronica, I think, could really use one of those remakes.
Yeah, and Resident Evil 0 is not very good, so I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Like it has those good like GameCube graphics. If I still think those GameCube graphics look great.
Yeah.
But the game itself is like, I don't know. I felt like the franchise running on fumes. Yeah. But
it was one of those ones that was because what Dreamcast got Code Veronica, and GameCube got 4, and did they get 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had 4 and 0 in that early generation.
0, I think 0 was before 4. It was like they made that engine or whatever to do the remake of Resident Evil 1, right, on GameCube, and they're like, let's do another one. And then this one was like, well, how do we make it different? Like, and it's like, you got 2 characters that you control, and whoa, and kind of sucked in my opinion. Like, I played it recently, like a year or 2 ago, and I was like, I love Resident Evil, but this thing is pretty fucking limp. And but that said, they've done such a good job with their remakes. I'm like, maybe they can make something out of it.
Yeah,
I'll get it.
And Code Veronica could really use it. So I think that one will come out real well.
That's one I never played because once I downloaded it one time, I started to play it. I was like, oh, this is one of these like really old Resident Evils, and like, yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, that was pre-4.
Yeah,
and it was probably right around. It was before 0 as well. So
it was probably before the remake, I think.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong, but
yeah, because Code Veronica is very much like like a step up visually from like Resident Evil 3,
but it is
but
just
it plays
that,
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that'll be neat.
I'm in.
Kind of
I'll
excited
buy
for
them.
those.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there, we're gonna get a Resident Evil 9. So they're Capcom just punching those games out. And finally, on the things that I kind of flagged for us to look at, sounds like there's a report out there that former Rocksteady founders who had, I guess, left Rocksteady at some point and started a new studio. They are ready to publish their new first AAA single player game, and it's a studio called 100 Star Games, and they have signed a deal with Xbox to go through them for publishing. So I don't know what that'll be.
Right. It's hard to get excited because we don't know anything about the game, and the only thing I heard about it was that it's years away.
Yeah.
So
And
good luck, I guess, that the game
like,
actually exists.
Rocksteady has been so tied to Batman.
Yeah.
That, like, does their shit work outside of Batman?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would also speak to why, like, if they lost some key staff, why the last couple of games were not as good, and the last game especially was not good at all. Maybe these people are working on something else and not with Rocksteady. Like maybe it's better that they're working on something else.
Yeah, true. And I mean, look, I hope it's good, but yeah. At first, when I first read it this morning, I was like, oh shit, they signed the Rockstar guy, like the guy who left Rockstar to go start his own thing, and I was like, that's neat. Like, wonder if he's like making a GTA. And then I reread it, and it was like Rocksteady and Rockstar are not the same company. Like, Rocksteady make Batman games.
I mean, I would love a game in the style of the original Batman. Like, give me that. I'll take that.
Yeah, like an Arkham Asylum. That would be cool.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be Batman. Get some other license or come up with something new. It would be shocking to see something new. Ooh.
That'd be wild.
Give me Batman 1966.
Right.
That would be neat. Just like a goofy, corny Batman and Robin game.
I'd play
it. Yeah.
Like Matt Ban. This game, we've come up with this new name, Matt Ban.
That would be funny too. Like they've just made a Batman knockoff, but they can't call it Batman because it's owned by Warner Brothers.
They're like Ratman. Who is Ratman?
Ratman. So that's it for news. What have you guys been playing this week?
Fallout. So much Fallout.
More Fallout 4?
I think Jess played a lot of. You finished Fallout, right?
I did. Yeah, I put a lot of it.
Oh, really?
Did you do all the DLC?
No, I don't own the DLC. I did just the game because that's all I have. But I don't know like what I could say.
Yeah, don't spoil it because
have you been to the Institute yet?
I have been to the Institute. I have been kicked out of the Institute. In fact, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all the DLC. Then I'm gonna go back and finish the main campaign.
So I could talk about the big twist of the game, or can I not?
I think this game's been out for 9 years. I think
I know, but for you personally, like you've been to the Institute, so you know.
I have met Father and
okay.
realized that
Chris.
I don't care. No,
have you played through the game though? Like,
no.
Do you know? Okay, so the whole quest of the game is you are in a vault at the beginning, and you see your son get like kidnapped out of the vault, and then you get like let out. And a lot of what hovers over the whole game in the Wasteland is that there's this thing called the Institute. They're like making synths, like like robots.
Yeah,
they're doing
bad guys. Yeah. And when you get there, you get to meet the leader of the Institute, and it's like this 60-year-old man who is your son. He's like, he was kidnapped way before you were unfrozen. So like, that's the twist. You know what I mean? Like,
you eventually learn that he's the one who unfroze you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I've always, like, since the game came out, we have not been able to talk about this because, like, I don't want to spoil it for people. I think that's so awesome. I think it's like an
cool
awesome
twist.
twist.
Yeah.
And it's exactly how I remember it. And when I did it back in the day, then I was like, okay, well, I have to help the Institute because it's my son, and maybe it's noble or whatever. Like, and I do think in my first playthrough, I did side with them in the end. But I was so committed to what Tony said that me and him were both like, we're back in the Minutemen, like just these rugged like cowboys who are just trying to like bring order to the fucking wasteland. And so that's what I did.
People. That's what they're out there to help people.
Yeah, they're good. I don't feel bad about. It's weird. It's like bad ending of the game. I don't feel like it because I feel like I helped the people that were just trying to keep the fucking order.
Yeah. Let me. Can I ask you this about the ending? Does the game end when you finish the campaign, or could you keep playing?
You could keep playing.
Okay.
And in fact, there's things that like are the result. Like I've done quests that like are only the result of what I had done. So like,
interesting.
Yeah, there's actually more. They don't even treat it like there's like you'll do the end of the game. All right, and it was me blowing up a huge portion of the world. And then it was like no credits or anything. It was just like, all right, on to the next thing. And then there were like again, like missions that were like fall of that. Like so like it was the end of the game. Like you could tell because it was a cutscene where like war never changes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah. But yeah, like it just kind of just keeps going.
Well, that's good.
Really good. Like glad they fixed that from Fallout 3, where it was like, and the game's over now.
Oh, the DLC fixed that in Fallout 3. The DLC fixed that too.
Yeah. But originally it was like
it ended.
It was like you're just dead. Like game over.
No, this is like, in fact, it's like, did I beat the game? You know what I mean? Like you're like, if you did not know, it's just like, oh, did I finish like a storyline?
Quest complete. You're like, okay, well that was anticlimactic.
I think Fallout 4 is actually like really great. Like I think it like again, I have only played 4 or I've played every Fallout game since Fallout 3. So what, 2008?
Yeah, I mean those are the Bethesda Fallout games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I think Fallout 4 is the best. Like
I can see that.
Technologically it's the best, and like I don't see the fault in the story. I think the story's awesome. Like I think that like and they could play out as almost in as many ways as New Vegas.
Yeah.
But just with better tech and it's just a smoother gameplay experience. I really loved Fallout 4. And I did keep playing after I beat the game, but then like I got to the point where like something is lost because you're not like reaching for anything anymore. You're just like, all right, well, I did the thing I came to do. Yeah, I could do more in it, and I'm like super powerful, like which is cool, but like I just got bored with it after a couple hours after beating it, and I kind of moved on.
It's kind of funny to go back to like some of like the initial areas, and you're like, oh, there's all these enemies, and you're like one-shotting them all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah, here's something I'll say for the end game. I forgot what mission I did to get this. Like, look it up. But if you could get the Tesla cannon, oh my god, dude. That was when the game like cracked open for me because like once I got the Tesla cannon, I was like, I can go to the end. Because this thing is like a gun where like, you know, like if you have a laser pistol or a laser rifle, it uses like fusion cells.
Mm-hmm.
The Tesla cannon, one fusion cell, so like the same as using one like pistol shot, will devastate an enemy. Like it will kill most enemies with one shot. And you're just using the same ammo as you would with a regular pistol. I fucking like waltzed through the end of that game for the most part.
I want one of those.
So look up. I don't remember what mission I did to get that, but look up how to get the Tesla cannon. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I've been playing through the DLC, so because I have all the DLC.
Yeah, you'd probably be going way longer.
Yeah, and I'm trying to finish it before I finish the campaign. So I've been making my way through Nuka World, which is like the Nuka-Cola version of Disneyland.
It's awesome.
And it's in like the employees who were working there when the bombs fell and destroyed everything, they like sequestered themselves inside, and like now all the different parts of the park are like either owned by raiders or like owned by like weird creatures. It's just weird. And it's all like you're like having to go through and take over all of the parts of Nuka World piece by piece and like distribute them to these gangs to like manage them. It's like the one part of the game where you're like with the raiders that you spend so much time fighting in all the other parts of the game. It's a really cool DLC. I really like they add a companion who's a raider who's pretty cool. And it's good that they did, because you do some shit in these missions where you'd be like, any other companion I bring on these missions would like desert me if I did that. One of the missions, you meet this guy who's been raised by gorillas who are living in the park. So he's like Tarzan, and he talks like Tarzan does. It's so fun. I'm really enjoying Nuka World. Some of the other DLCs are not that great. The Vault 88 DLC might be good if you really enjoy like building stuff. But the actual missions suck. One of the DLCs, Automation, the robot focused one, is utterly and completely broken. I can't finish the last mission because I can't get the door to open. I don't know why the door won't open. It just won't open. And occasionally it causes events to occur in the world where like one of your places will get attacked by robots. And all the robots that can walk are fine. But there's this one particular kind of robot where if it spawns, it's just frozen. And you can kill it. But if you do kill it, it just kind of sits there dead, unless you like save your game and then immediately reload the save, in which case the corpse of the robot then drops to the ground and
he just falls, crumples.
It's just weird. I wish that DLC didn't exist. But Nuka World is great. Really enjoying that, and Far Harbor is fantastic. So,
well, I'll keep those still in mind.
I'm excited to hear you like finish out the game and what you do. Do you still plan to side with the Minutemen?
With the Minutemen, yeah.
Okay, I'd be interested to see what you think, but
yeah.
There's things about it that are
I
cool.
can't. I already can't. Like the railroad's like, you have to work with the Minutemen now. We can't. And the Institute's already kicked me out. So
the only thing
I can only side with the Minutemen or the Brotherhood of Steel at this point.
Well, the only thing like makes me want to keep playing now that I'm done is to go kill the Brotherhood of Steel. Like just wipe them out.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of side quests. I feel like I experienced like a good, probably 80% of the game, and it was really great.
Did you do the USS Constitution?
The ship? Know. No, I don't think so.
Oh, go back into the game and do that quest.
See, that's the cool thing. It's like
Ironsides.
Yeah.
So it's the wooden boat.
It's the wooden boat. Yeah.
I've been
Maybe
on that
boat. I don't think so. I don't know. There is a lot of things like
there's so many like random small quests that are so cool.
Yes, like you could stumble on a character in a town, right? And you're just like, oh, I'll go talk to him, and it spawns like a quest line, like a full. You're just like, God damn, this is like a thing that I could do the Silver Shroud. Seen. What is it?
The Silver Shroud.
Maybe
you get to be like I would say like 1920s like action like radio star person.
No,
that's cool.
Kind of like in the vein of like The Shadow.
Yeah.
Like you get to like wear his costume and like perform acts of justice.
That's what I'm saying though, is like
some great writing.
There's things in that game that like you might never like. I've played through the game twice and I might have never stumbled upon. Like you could really find like really random things that like are a full quest that's just like tucked in and buried and hidden. I love that shit. Like I love like that's one thing I love about Elden Ring is like something you totally miss 9 times through playing the game, and then you find it and it's not just like a little like side quest. No, it's like a full thing that's pretty interesting. And it's good writing, you know.
No. It's the annoying thing about like games that launch in the state that they normally launch in now. Like I'm pretty sure that's why we didn't originally all like lap up Fallout 4. Like
I loved it.
We couldn't play through it the way we play through it now. Like there were too many things about it that were broken or annoying or imbalanced that they fixed.
Yeah.
Like it used to be like every 2 seconds one of your settlements was under attack and you had to go defend it. Now it happens like every couple of hours. I go, I guess I can fast travel over there and save that settlement. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing that drove me out of the game was like I had like 10 settlements and they were always under attack. And that was all I did. And I'm like, this is boring. I'm not enjoying this. So I quit.
was same. That was where I was like, you know, they're making me basically play tower defense. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to do that. I just want to play Fallout. I want to explore the wasteland and like go on goofy adventures.
Yeah. There's also like sometimes when my settlements are under attack, I'm like, I don't care. I just changed my mind.
Like, maybe they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
Earl has joined us. Hey, Earl.
Howdy, what's up?
How was
Earl,
your
is your settlement
celebrating?
under attack?
I heard two different things at once. What happened?
I asked if your settlement was under attack. Just wondering.
No settlements under attack. Just,
Spe-
just the great city of New York doing its business today.
Yes, thank you. We'd like to thank New York for its service.
Yes. We spent the first 10 minutes of the show talking about that orange buffoon. But yes, thank you, New York, for doing your duty.
What else have I missed? Well,
we went through the state of play. Do you have any takes on that?
I have watched it. Astrobot looks really cool.
Yep.
I assume that's what everybody said, and then it was Astrobot.
Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter, yeah.
Next year.
And then I mean it looks interesting just because I like Overwatch, Marvel Rivals.
Okay.
Eh.
Yeah, we weren't sure what exactly was going on there.
I made fun of it.
Yes.
I mean it's Overwatch.
Not we.
It does that.
That's what I said. It's third person Marvel Overwatch. It doesn't look like a superhero game.
Yeah, I was about to say. The thing is, it does not fit into the Marvel brand of like. It's not what you think of like superheroes doing not tower defense, but like capture the point or whatever.
They're doing yeah, exactly. That's exactly
capture point, escort, that type of stuff.
Yes. But again, like I do enjoy Overwatch, so I will take it with a Marvel skin maybe. We will see. But yeah, it wasn't. The funny thing is everything this morning. Like somebody literally had like a rundown of all the games that's gonna be there, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, this can't be. Like I assume this, but it's like one of those things. You ever see something when somebody leaks something? It's like usually if you leak something like, oh man, they're gonna have like a new God of War. It's gonna be like Uncharted 5. No, this was like here's like an Alien VR game and a God of War PC port. I'm like, oh, this has to be real because nobody would make something so boring. And I guess to be fair, Sony did make something so boring. So the first game looked interesting, and I had this problem again. I had a friend over today. Oh yeah, so I was seeing bits and pieces of it while I was watching. There was like 2 or 3 games that were purely, I guess, what they would say in-game engine, but it was CG, and I'm like, what is the actual game? Because that game looked interesting, and then I think they said it's like a 5v5 shooter, like the one with like the heist or whatever.
So was that Concord? Was that the?
Yes, that's the name of it.
Yeah, which it took me a while to remember that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was giving Walt Overwatch vibes. It kind of seemed like Valorant a little bit to me.
Yes, but then, but I when they showed it and like the initial kind of CG premise, I was like, oh, this actually looks like a really kind of fun Borderlands as shooter heist thing, and it's like a PvP. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yep. Yeah, if it had the the attitude and was the attitude of the CG cutscenes that they were playing, which had some character to them, and it was maybe a single player or co-op Borderlands type game, I think we'd probably be more on board with it.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked about that. We talked about how Silent Hill 2 looks a little wonky.
Yes.
We talked about Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. Call of Duty 6 specifically, or Call of Duty
Black
Ops 6. Yeah, Call of Duty 27. Talked about Doom: The Dark Ages, the 2 Resident Evil remakes, and that was about it.
Did I miss Resident Evil?
So there's a pretty credible rumor out there that Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica are.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if I missed it in the State of Play.
No,
interesting in the State of Play.
Yeah, no, they weren't there.
It was also weird, and I mean, I think Astrobot was the last game.
Yes.
And they were great, but I was surprised that was what they ended on. Again, I think it's fantastic, but I felt like they would have been like and one more thing announcement.
Nope.
Not this year, homie.
I mean,
this year is just, there's not one more thing. There's just
there might not be one thing.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Hey, Astrobot is this year.
Yes, Astrobot.
Sure,
and
there you go.
I think I'm with you, Earl. Like the game looks super fun. I am excited for it. So
good luck, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I hope it is a $40 game and not a $70 game, but I'll probably play it regardless.
Jeff's gonna join me. He's gonna play the game of the year, which is Ultimate General American Revolution.
Let's get it in the strategy games now.
I'll play. Play. We're getting Call of Duty, right? I'll play that with y'all.
Also, I mean, just really, I assume you folks touched on this. Also, Path of Exile, too excited for, but I'm excited for it. Path of Exile, though, is like Diablo if you want to do homework.
Is that a Diablo style game, or is it more?
It is. Yeah.
It's a Diablo style game. There's no but. It's a Diablo.
Is that the one I downloaded earlier this year and played for 5 minutes? And
it's if you're trying to get into it now, like the skill tree is so fucking convoluted.
Okay, I seem to remember you saying that. So I think that was the one I downloaded this year. I was like, yeah, this is like Diablo, but like budget, like smaller studio doing it. But it could be interesting. Blah, blah,
like
blah.
the way I tend to think of it, Diablo is kind of the baseline. Torchlight is like if you want to try to like learn Diablo. So Torchlight is kind of like Diablo for beginners, and then Path of Exile is like if you want a PhD in Diablo, because like the skill tree is like it's an actual like tree. Like things branch off, and like these nodes connect to that node if you do this, and it's way too many things to get. I played it for a couple of hours with friends until it's like you can like I think you because I mean I think even in the thing they showed, like a character has like 10 abilities. Where I think Diablo limits you to what the
you have like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun game, but yeah, it is a lot. Because again, Diablo, you screw up a skill, you screw up your spec and respec, you're good to go. This one, it's like you have to like think all that through.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was what you missed, Earl. Cycling back to games. Unlike you guys, I did not play Fallout, but I did start another kind of like Wastelandy game. I saw Furiosa yesterday.
You tell me you enjoyed it.
I liked it. I think you liked it more than Fury Road.
I love Furiosa. I think Furiosa is fantastic.
I didn't like it as much as Fury Road, and I don't love Fury Road. I think they're both good movies. They were
enough.
enjoyable.
I at this point, I famously was against Fury Road when it came out, and then like,
yeah, you turned on it, right?
I spent many years like thinking about it and rewatching it, and now I think it's like it absolutely is one of the great movies of all time. But I just feel like Furiosa adds. It's like Furiosa is the first 2 hours of that movie. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Furiosa,
I mean, that's how that movie ends, right? Like,
yeah, it's like we're leading right into spoilers. We're leading right into Fury Road, and then Fury Road is the payoff of what Furiosa is. But I love Furiosa so much because of like how much it expands on the world that Fury Road like hinted at. Like it felt like Fury Road knew all these things that
yeah, that's
that
what I
were
liked
there.
about Furiosa was like getting the lore and the backstory and
usually
kind
I
of
hate that
exploring the
shit.
world.
Usually I hate that shit. Like I don't even know why Han Solo is named Han Solo, right?
Because
But this
nobody ever
movie just
asked that
felt
question.
this felt so essential to. Oh, here is the rest of the story, and like it just sets up this road chase movie that Fury Road is so well. God, I love Furiosa. Like I came out of that theater because of what they did at the end, like just like beaming. I was just like, oh my god, I love this. Then I can't wait to see them both, like to watch them both like in succession. Like, but anyways, sorry.
Yeah,
No,
well, so I was feeling I wanted some more Mad Max, and
it's
you
on
remember
sale.
that game from 2015? It is on sale for $5 currently. Avalanche
Really?
Studios.
I was wondering because like you were the second or third person this week who have seen who's been playing that game. Like it's just a
I would
random
just
ass
play
game.
Fallout
That,
4. It's kind
yeah,
of
I mean,
it.
there's an actual Mad Max game. You might as well try it.
Dude, I
And
thought about it. I saw it was $5, and I was like, I guess Chris should tell us right now.
Well, and it's by the it's by the Just Cause guys, by Avalanche Studios. So they know how to make an open world game, third person action. I haven't played a lot of it. Played only about an hour, but it's doing the Mad Max thing. Like you're driving, you're exploring the wasteland. It takes place in the movie world of Fury Road. 'Cause it came out right around the same time. So you're fighting war boys, like
okay.
You go ahead, Earl.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and you always played an hour. 'Cause I remember when it came out, I remember watching a friend play it for a bit, and the only thing it seemed funny, but the only thing is like it seemed like it was a very one note loop, which is like you go to a base, you clear out the base then gives you a resource, you go to another base, you clear it out, it gives you like that was like the only type of mission I saw was basically you go to a place and you clear it out of the enemies.
Yeah, there seems like there's a little bit more to it than that from what I see from just by looking over like the achievement list. Like there's a whole bunch of like side quests and other stuff to do. But yes, the main thing is like you're gonna go to the big base in the area. So you're gonna go to Gastown. You I think maybe end up at I don't know if the bullet farm was created in like that is I don't remember the bullet farm being mentioned in Fury Road. Um but they mentioned Gastown. I think they mentioned the Citadel.
There's Ammo Town.
The
But
bullet farm, right?
Yeah, I know. It just cracks me up that like it's just like a video game.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
Ammo Town or whatever, Bullet Town, whatever.
So yeah, so I don't know, Earl. It could very well be that it is just like you're just going and clearing out bases. But I think I could use a game like that right now anyway. So
that's totally like sometimes it's just like listen, I play Diablo it's mostly to go around and kill stuff. So
yeah.
yeah.
And like that the combat is very Arkham-ish. So like you're pressing Y to counter. You could do like a light or heavy physical attack. You will get guns, but you're in the wasteland, so ammo is
Ammo is
sparse. Gas is sparse, so like
You can't just
you'll
drive everybody over.
yeah, you can, but you will run out of gas. Also, your car gets damaged, so like you'll need to make repairs on it. So you'll need, you have to get the scrap resources and stuff. It seems like the main thing here is that you are trying to like build a new car so that Max can leave the wasteland or whatever. I don't know. It seems neat, and for $5, I'm like, yeah, this works. Like,
I'm so on the edge with it, where I'm just like, do I want to play this, or did Fallout like fill that
satisfy your apocalypse feel?
Yeah, and I'm just
I will say
it
when
really
I'm go ahead.
No, because it really like if you watch anything like on Mad Max, it's like it inspired Fallout. So like Fallout feels very much Mad Maxy, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, do I want more of this? Like I do, because I loved Furiosa. But at the same time, I'm like, is this game any good? So I'm happy to hear you like talk about it here, and at least seem like you're enjoying it. But like,
yeah, I mean, granted,
I think
again, I've only played about an hour of it, so very scripted in the early going. Like the first mission is like tutorial, right? Like you're gonna get a gun and you'll pick up some ammo. They'll then show you how to shoot your gun, which is ridiculous. And then you'll go through like a melee combat tutorial before you then move on to the next story mission. And then that story mission is like a little bigger. You're exploring the wasteland. You're going to a point on the map, going through an enemy base.
How visually does it look dated, or does it look like a
little bit
modern?
Like it doesn't look super modern. It doesn't look terrible, but it looks like a 9-year-old.
Like okay, yeah.
Like, what I do think that the game does a good job of is because a lot of it takes place in the Australian desert, or the wasteland of Mad Max, and it looks like part of this is in the like where an ocean would have been. So there's like lots of boats and stuff, and you see them on like the horizon. You're driving along, so like the vistas I think look really cool. Like getting up close on them, it's not super awesome. Like it's a lot of times the little camps are probably a little cut and pasty. Like it's like, oh, here's a tanker, and here's a cargo shipping container. Here's like a couple of them. We built like a little camp around them. But driving through the wasteland, it looks neat. Like I don't think it looks terrible. It's not, oh wow, this is a really, really old looking game. Like it looks fine. And yeah, like I just kind of was like, oh, I didn't love Furiosa like you did, Jeff, but I was like, I kind of wanted a little more Mad Max. This is doing it. Like I'm in that world currently, so
I'm like after 102 hours of Fallout.
It's a lot of Wasteland.
Do I need more Wasteland? I think I probably need some like plants in my next game.
Yeah,
something green.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I love. Is like Fallout was so clearly inspired. Like so many post-apocalyptic things are inspired by what George Miller has done. But yeah, I part of me did want to be like, I need to play the Mad Max game, because that's been a game that like people have been champions of since it came out. Like, oh, this is underrated. Yeah. It's really good.
I would say if it's $5 now, like
might as well. I think the sale might be over.
Pick it up, even if you don't want to play it now. Like maybe when the game comes to, or when the movie comes to DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
It's on sale for, at least on Xbox, for the next 4 days.
Okay. I really look forward to watching. I want to watch them, like, because like Furiosa makes you want to watch Fury Road. I kind of want to do that like double feature where it's just like just watch them, because again, it just feels like it's all built up to like this action scene, and then Fury Road is like the 2-hour action scene. Like I don't know, man. I love it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I should rewatch Fury Road now that I just watched Furiosa.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they give you the credits, but yeah.
Yeah, I just like. I mean, maybe I'll come away liking Fury Road a little bit more.
I think Fury, like, there's so many things that grew my respect for it, but like, it was him trying to be like, can we tell a story with just action? And when I first came out of that movie, I was like, there's no story.
Yes.
But then on rewatches, I was like, no, there's a story, but it's just like you have to pick up on what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It doesn't explain Morton Joe. It doesn't explain the Citadel. It just expects you to be smart enough to fill in the blanks. And I've grown immense respect for it.
That's interesting because yes, in my head, I'm like, I guess there's a plot, not necessarily a story but I'm like, yeah, I picked up on it. Like, he is just fathering a bunch of these.
Yeah. No, it's all in there.
No, it's
But
all
the
in
movie is
there.
just like,
But no, I get your
we're
point.
not
Like,
going to spend time on explaining this.
like it's basically like you kind of jump into Act 2 of the movie. So yes, I get that. It's such a fascinating thought process, but yeah, because it's like it's not. I mean, yes, it's nonstop. It works that way, but I mean, I've always loved that movie. I think mostly one, like it's a ton of action, but also it's a really beautifully shot blockbuster.
Yeah.
It does such great things with color, and
dude. So you have not seen Furiosa yet?
I have not seen Furiosa yet.
Oh my god, Chris! This is not like a spoiler thing. There's a part where they do a passage of time in Furiosa. Do you know what I'm talking
Like
about?
where it goes from young to her being.
It's like 15 years pass, and instead of just saying 15 years later, it shows you the passage of time. You know what I'm talking about?
It just kind of like flows, and then
it does a time lapse on a tree growing, and I was just like, "That's brilliant, dude! That's just absolutely brilliant filmmaking. This guy's a genius." Yeah,
whoever young Furiosa was to now like Anya Taylor-Joy,
and even that is so seamless because like you're never quite sure when the switch is. It's like at some point it's Anya Taylor-Joy, but you're like, when did she become like? It's just so. Like,
when did she come into
it? It is masterful filmmaking, man. Like I'm sorry to like keep going on rants about this movie, but like I loved it so much.
It's a good film. I enjoyed it. Earl, did you play anything this week?
I have, for once. I've actually played a new game.
Oh my god. What?
A new old game, I should say.
Oh no.
That's fine.
I mean, it's a new game, but it's an old game. It's a classic
Pong.
game. It's a great game. I did not play Pong. That would have been.
You should play Pong. Always play Pong.
Yes, maybe some beer pong. But no, I picked up Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, whatever you want to call it, on the Switch, and I will say
it's just the same game.
It's not. It's beautiful.
It is one of those. Yes, that's why. Because technically speaking, it's a remaster.
Yeah.
But it's a remaster that does that thing, which is what you should do sometimes, which is the game looks how you remember it in your head.
Yes.
But if you compare it side to side, it is visually a much better game. Not only that, they redid the entire soundtrack. But one of the things you can do right away is you can acquire the nostalgia badge, which allows you to also have like the GameCube score if you want it. They cleaned up some of the dialogue, or change some stuff around. I mean, I'm sure you folks have seen the big one about Vivian on social media, kind of being confirmed as a trans character in this version, versus just being bullied by her sisters in the original. But I will tell you, and I am completely 150% biased. Within like 5-10 minutes of starting this game and playing it again, I was instantly reminded as to why I love this and why I love the I really enjoyed Origami King. I enjoy Paper Mario. I enjoyed Super Paper Mario. But Thousand Year Doors to me was just a different beast. It's been my favorite Mario RPG.
Yeah, it's the best.
I mean, I think Bowser's Inside Story is a close second for me, but Thousand Year Door is just, and it's one of those things where it's simple, but the combat's so engaging. The characters are so fun. I like that they just, they're able to have fun with Mario and Nintendo. And now it's such a fascinating time capsule of Nintendo's history as well. Because like one of the first characters you meet, one of the first NPCs you run into is like a toad talking about the Game Boy in a game called Fire Emblem, and like how bizarre that would have been in 2004, where I think Fire Emblem, I wouldn't necessarily say is a household name now, but these people know what it is versus like 2004 would have been like, what?
Yes, agreed.
You go to the casino, and I think the way where you redeem your tickets is like a giant original Game Boy machine and stuff like that. I mean, the fact that like the Pintas from Super Mario Sunshine, or that you collect shine spirits, is very much like indicative of like that very specific GameCube era of Nintendo. But it holds up, and it's an absolute blast. Like literally, I think I've not again. It's a game I know how it works, but like I've sat here and I can tell you there's been months and months and months since I've played a game for 2-3 hours in one sitting, and that
Really, it really sucks you in, and
it
yeah.
really, because it's the combat is engaging enough. It's very simple, like nothing is groundbreaking, but because it keeps me engaged with like the real time, like you're always having to press buttons for attacks or defense. Um, getting the side characters, doing the stuff in the overworld, the puzzle solving, the little paper abilities he has. Like right now, I think I'm up to chapter 2, so I can turn into a piece of paper. I can turn into a paper airplane. um, all the little side quests, all the interesting characters you meet, all the fun, like I said, one asides or goose, or like the first actual major boss is like it's easy to defeat if you realize it's not allergic. Crickets, no frogs makes it sick, so you could do damage to it. And then like when you defeat it in the first phase, it eats the audience, and then you have to like kind of fight it back to take the audience. The audience is, I think, is such a fun and weird element to it. I think the whole stage aspect of it. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's an absolute blast of a game. I mean, I can't even be like, oh, who knows how it's gonna hold up because I've played through the game. I know it's fantastic. But I don't often buy remakes or remasters. I play the game. I know how it goes. But I'm like, this one. I'm like, it's been so long. I wanted to see if the magic still holds up, and I was so happy that it does. And there's just enough quality of life adjustments where it's like, oh yeah, it doesn't feel dated. It feels like a game that could have come out this year and still felt new.
Cool. Um, it's on my list to get. So
It is like I'm like so on the fence about it. Like I want to get it, I want to play it because I love it, but also I feel like I've played it and it doesn't look like it's like doing anything
No,
new.
and yeah, and that's the case. The only thing I hear, and I guess this is spoilers, is I think like Super Mario RPG, it adds like one or two additional bosses after the game. But outside of that, I think it's still fundamentally.
It's
Also,
basic. Like
it is such a bizarre subplot with Peach and a computer that falls in love with her. I completely forgot about that whole arc.
yeah,
But
this is coming to a future episode of our movie show. I got some coming. So get excited for
really,
that, Earl. If you liked Princess Peach being fucked by a computer, just wait.
I have questions, but
what?
I feel like Chris has more questions than I do.
I don't know where this is going now. I'm very scared.
When did computers become so sexually charged? I really want to know that.
It happens. It does happen.
I'm sorry, Chris.
Oh no.
And also, I mean, and just real quick, because I think Chris and I discussed this. So I went back to Evil West with my friend, and it's a fine game, but honestly, it wasn't even like it was difficult. But we just got to a point I got to a point honestly with like one of the battles where I'm like, this isn't fun.
Like, why am I playing this?
Yeah. So we were just like, we finished yesterday, right? We're just done with it, and it's not. One, like I said before, for some odd reason, the game's like we want to use like every button possible for everything in this game.
Yeah, I was listening to their podcast about this, and it sounded like it like exhausts all the options on the controller and then some.
Yeah, because it's like you press up on this, it does this thing. You press down on this, it does something different. You press these two together and then press this third button, and it does something. Like literally, before yesterday, I mean, before I played yesterday, I went through and like, what are all the moves in this actual game again? So I can remember how to put them off, and then it's like, oh, you're giving me a level of skill, so I get more moves I don't remember. But there was this boss that I just found really tedious, and that was really the end of it. Again, it wasn't that it was difficult. It's I don't I mean it's like a boss that has it's a flying boss, which is always a pain in the ass in general. But it has like 5 or 6 like floating orbits around it. And you need to take out those orbits
Oh yeah.
before it can take damage. The problem is like when you do it and then you shoot it, it's down on the floor for like 3 seconds. And then after like, the first like quarter of its health, there's also enemies which you can attack until those orbits are also down. So you're running away from stuff you can attack on the ground, trying to shoot something in the air. And at some point, I'm like, this isn't fun because like, what am I supposed to do as a player? I can't attack this stuff to get it out of my way. I'm trying to aim at something in the air while being attacked on the ground. I don't understand how anybody thought this was fun. And then we did that, and then maybe like 20 minutes later, they're like, haha, it's now a mini boss. So here it is in a random arena. I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like, once this battle is over, I think I'm good with this game. I will mark it off as like tried it. Interesting concept. Moving on.
Yeah. Let's throw in 5 different bosses. They're now just regular enemies and a new boss for you to fight all at once.
Yep. That is pretty much it's like a weird Streets of Rage. Because but like it's like okay, you just fought this boss and it was a pain in the ass, right? Like so here's another one. Remember that boss in the first level? Here's 2 of those. Here's some normal enemies. And remember those guys you can't shoot, so you also have to go up to them and fight. Here's some more of them. And once that's done, we're gonna make sure we spawn in some other enemies. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yep. I had to turn that shit down to easy to get through it. So
I'm just like I'm good.
I played a little bit more X Defiant this last week. That's the Ubisoft free to play Call of Duty shooter.
Yeah.
That game's fun. I'm really enjoying it. Played a little bit as the cleaners from the Division. They have they're if you played the first Division, they're like the fire guys. Like they have flamethrowers. They burn everything. And so you play as them, and they have like fire-based special abilities. So either they have what's called a fire drone, which you activate and it shoots across the map in a straight line and basically just lays down a blanket of fire. Or you have I don't remember what it's called, but it's like this incendiary device that you drop on the floor and it creates a giant area of effect. And basically, if an enemy is in that circle, they die unless they can get out of it immediately. And if they do, you can probably pick them off real quick with gunfire. The escort mode, it's been a lot of fun. Just there's the little watchdogs kind of walkie drone thing that you follow behind, and you get that to checkpoints and try and it's like every other escort mode. Like I think Overwatch has one as well. Where you're just moving the payload to a final destination. The game's fun. Shooting is fun in it. I'm starting to unlock some shit for my guns, so I'm getting a little bit better. Still getting murdered a lot, but it's like Call of Duty, so it's gonna happen. But yeah, it's like if you're looking for a free to play Call of Duty game, I think it hits the mark. You guys play anything else, Tony, Jeff?
So much Fallout.
Tony, what do you say?
Just Fallout. Lots of Fallout. Infinite Fallout.
I did play a lot of Vampire Survivors, which
finished the new one.
Yeah, weren't a lot of discussion. Like, I played the DLC for it. I actually discovered a DLC for it that I had not played through. Some of the DLC content, like let's say you are a casual player of the game and you buy the DLC content, you will miss like a lot of it unless you have it. Like, basically, you have to have played through and beaten anything that was in the main game, right? And then you get full access to like the adventures that these DLCs drop. Played a ton of that, and dude, Vampire Survivors is one of those games that is like, I don't know, it's gonna live forever. Like, people will always know this game. It's fantastic, and the DLC is fantastic as well. So
it's immortal, guys. You heard it here. Vampires are immortal.
They are. True. Some might consider it a game of the year.
It might be.
It is. It is actually, like, again, I think I said this before. In any other year, it would be the game of the year, and we gave it game of the year. But yeah,
it's because we're forward thinking, Jeff.
I don't have a lot of like, qualms about us giving it that, because, like, yeah, Elden Ring was the game of the year. Obviously, everyone gave it to.
No, we made the right choice. We did.
But for us to say
now you're understanding finally that Elden Ring was not game of the year, but it was in fact Vampire Survivors.
Jeff's gonna play some more Elden Ring in about a month, and he's gonna be like, "No, this game is the."
No, I would never sign it being game of the year, but like, it's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? Like, it's so different.
And we chose the correct oranges. That's what we did.
You might have, because like, I think that the game will continue to have a huge impact on the industry. Like, and yeah, these add-ons are amazing. You should definitely get them for the price.
Much like Demon Souls and Dark Souls, like, spawned all those Souls likes. Vampire Survivors has spawned a hell of a lot of these like auto shooters or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I actually played one of them, which I think, Chris, you had mentioned is Brotato.
Yep.
Yes, I played Brotato.
Oh, that's an auto shooter?
Yeah, it's just like it. It's the only problem in for me.
It's the problem is potatoes.
Like, the level is very small. It's
super small.
It's like a little gray room, like a little gray square. Whereas, like, Vampire Survivors right away is just like, hey, go out and explore.
And there's shit there, right? There's nothing in Brotato. It is literally just a gray square.
It's just a little arena. You're fighting in a little arena the whole time, and I think that like ruins it a little bit. Yeah, because like in Vampire Survivors, like, depending upon which map you choose, like,
that can
You
change your
have
strategy.
maps. There's maps. Like,
and there's stuff
Yeah.
on those maps too, right? It's like
Yeah.
you can walk up here and maybe if you want the gold ring or something, like they're there on the map that you can see, and you can walk and gauge your progress towards them. And in Brotato, it is really just like get the max build that you can get and defeat all the enemies in the 20 waves. Anyway, I think that's it for us for this week. When is the Xbox thing? Do we know?
Is it next weekend? I want to say. I think it's the weekend. I believe Jeff's thing is next Thursday, so we'd have
I always got a thing.
June 9th. Yeah, so I think you're right, Earl. It is next Sunday. So it won't be this week that we're talking about it, but that'll be next week. I guess Summer Game Fest is, did you say Thursday, Earl?
Let me just double check. I think it is Thursday. There's a few events next. Again, this is why I hate this time of the year. Because at least with E3, it's very specifically confined to that. But let me just double check. I believe but I think it's usually a Thursday. It's June 7th. No, June 7th is Saturday, Friday. So it's next Friday. So we don't have that either.
Yeah, just the Guerrilla Collective is on Thursday. That is the first game of the first showcase of not E3.
And when is IGN Live?
It's a good question. I don't see it on this list that I'm looking at. The Xbox showcase, a lot of stuff happens on Saturday and Sunday next week.
Yeah, which honestly speaking, kind of prefer like it being consolidated to the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess yes and no, because then I have to stay home. It's the other way. I could at least do it during work hours.
Yeah, the Xbox showcase is like dead smack at noon on Sunday, so just right there in the middle of the day. Ubisoft is on Monday, so we will have that stuff when it comes around. I don't know. We'll see what's up next week. Go from there. Jeff, say goodnight.
Good night.